Kuzu Zangpoola. Bhutan e-learning project welcomes you to this lesson of media studies in Key Stage 5, that is class 11 and 12. I am Desang Dorji and I'll take you through today's lesson. Today's lesson is going to be about global economy, e-commerce and media ownership. In your class 12's media studies textbook, you shall find this on page number 59. Now, there are few objectives we wish to fulfill in this lesson, and the objectives are 1. Recognize the meaning of global economy. 2. Apply the concept of e-commerce. And 3. Verify the influence of media ownership in global economy and e-commerce. In the past, when traditional media was very dominant, communication was very difficult. So, even for media to perform at a speed was very difficult, especially in our country, which is very mountainous. Conveying message from one place to another was very difficult. But now, with satellite technology, internet globalized communication and media messages happen at a speed that is very amazing. It happens at the speed of snap of a finger. Now when global communication and media messages happen at a global scale, this huge world of ours becomes a small community. In other words, it becomes a global village. The word global village was first coined by Marshall McLuhan in his book Medium is the Message in 1967. Amazing, right? In that book, it describes how the new media, which is based on electronics or the electronic mass media, can fuse space and time, which was a huge barrier in the traditional media, seems so irrelevant. Now, in a global village, the new media is screen-based, meaning it's digital. Examples of traditional media such as image, text, speech, all are converted into electronic form through technology, and this digital media breaks all barriers, boundaries, political boundaries, geographical boundaries, space, time. All this looks very easy to break through. You might be here right now, but this video that I am in front of you has been long recorded and sent to you through satellite technology. So this world is now a one big community. Now, when we talk about a global village, it is very important that in a global village we know about who owns the media. Media ownership plays a huge role. Why? Because in global village, a person sitting at a distance can have access to information which are not available within his proximity. But that is where a very crucial factor of who owns the media and how the process are done must be catered to. Even media conglomerates. This particular word, media conglomerates, will deal more in our next lesson. But right now, you must know that media conglomerates are transnational companies, but they are based in core societies such as USA, Japan, or even India. Now, let us look into different types of media ownership. The first one is private media. Just like the word suggests, private. It is owned, controlled, and funded by private individuals or private entities. In Bhutan, newspapers such as The Bhutanese, radio such as Kuzu FM, Radio Valley, and magazines such as The Drukpa and Yuong are examples of private media. Private media is very important in a democratic society. Why? Because private media helps you to give an independent voice and helps the society to keep check and balance. Number 2. Government-owned media. Government-owned media are owned, controlled and funded by the state, that is, the government. In Bhutan, newspapers such as Quinsil or TV channels such as BBS TV, radio channels such as BBS Radio are examples of government-owned media. Now, government-owned media are very prescriptive and they detect the audience of what to think and how to think. What to think and how to think because of what is being shown on the media. Now, in a more controlled region, this could have a very adverse effect. Government may not telecast options, opinions and ideas that the government think opposes their fundamentals. So, the issue of propaganda is always there when government-owned media comes into play. Number 3. Public media organization. Public media organization does not work for profit. They work with the motive to render public services. International news agencies such as the Al Jazeera, CCTV, NHK, and in Bhutan even BVS does public media organization functions. They are not owned by anyone. So how do they make their income? They have their income through license fee, individual contribution, public financing and commercial financing. Now, with due time and modernization, there is another type of media that is coming into play, which is very crucial, and that is community media. Just like the word suggests, controlled and owned by a community. Now, when we say community, it does not always depend on a regional or a geographical location. Community also means people and a group of people who share the same belief, idea or passion. Maybe you could have a community for biking. Now, community media, why is it so crucial? Because it is owned and funded by the community, civic engagement is there. People engage in producing whatever comes on that media. So, an active citizenship happens, and it also helps in catering to smaller minorities and marginalized community. Now, do you think media ownership could influence the patterns of communication? Yes, it does. How? Well, most of the media are running on the basis of the income they generate through ads and circulation. So when ads and circulation become the main form of income, private companies or private media firms are going to focus more on it because they have to sustain their business, while the government-owned media may or may not focus much on such income-generating avenues. And financial and political concern of media owners also play a huge role in what the media house communicates. No matter how dedicated a journalist is or how true the news may be, a journalist may not wish to go against the political and financial concern of the media owner. Now let us look into global economy. What is global economy? In other words, is also called as the world economy. Global economy or the world economy is a collective of economy of all the countries in the world. Now in this, even our country's economy is included as well. But we are not going to dwell more on global economy because that should be catered by economics lesson. Today we are going to focus on how media boosts economy. Before we move further, there is an interesting concept we must learn, that is electronic commerce. In other words, or also known as e-commerce. E-commerce refers to the buying and selling of goods or services using the internet and the transfer of money and data to execute these transactions. This is gaining a lot of popularity. We see so many people selling a lot of things on Facebook, WeChat, and if you're very popular on TikTok, please look for that ad whereby they show a bag and tell you the price in form of a song. Whoever finds that TikTok, make sure you let me know. Now, I would like to give you some examples of e-commerce that are available in the country and internationally. E-commerce is very popular because of the convenience it gives the audience. Just to pay your bill, you no longer have to go to BPC office, or to recharge your phone, you don't have to go to the shop anymore. You have Mbob, Mpay, which right on the click of your buttons on your phone can do all those payments. In Bhutan, we have popular e-commerce sites such as Bibe Buying and Selling, OAAB, DuckRide, Ajapasa. All these e-commerce sites give us goods and services. Outside Bhutan, we have some popular ones such as the Amazon, Flipkart, AliExpress, Uber, and Hotel Trivago. As per Business News Daily in 2015, the world e-commerce sales reached $1.2 trillion in 2013. Now in 2020, these numbers are going to be even higher. Why is e-commerce becoming such a dominant figure in the world economy? Because they reduce the physical aspects. In a traditional commerce or a traditional economy, people had to come face to face. If you are a shopkeeper, you needed a space. If you are a good retailer, you needed a go down space. If you wanted to be a taxi driver, you needed a taxi. But in the modern e-commerce, such aspects are taken care or not relevant. Uber, which is a taxi or a transportation service company, similar to all the taxis that we see tangible right in front of us. But interestingly, Uber does not own a single vehicle. It is just an app which makes other taxi drivers register to them and function as their taxis. So see, a taxi company does not own a single vehicle. But in 2019, it did a booking worth of $65,000 million. Can you imagine that? A taxi company without a single vehicle doing such a huge amount of booking. Now, whatever we have learned, e-commerce, global economy, that concept I want you to apply on this particular home task that I will be assigning to you. Are you ready? The home task is, in the present situation of Corona or COVID-19, how do you apply the lessons that you have learned right now and sell your goods? For example, you have a good to sell, maybe anything, a vegetable or something that you have designed at home from all the free times that you have got. How do you sell that with the ideas and lessons you have just learned? I hope the question is clear, and I hope I get to read your responses. Thank you for being such an attentive student, and I hope you'll join me again in my next lesson. Thank you.